Welcome everyone to another Honkai Star Rail Sunday. We are back, and I know the last couple streams we were doing the Fate event, but we have pardon me, we have completed it, and so we are done with that part. So we will be returning to ID's Elysiae with Finon and continuing that main story quest. I'm very excited to see where this goes. You all know I was day one Finon puller, so we're very excited to see how that plays out. And then just quick updates before we get started. Once again, they do still have these test runs for characters that they buffed that are older DPSs and just older characters. Origami Bird Clash, the new section, is still ongoing. Per usual, if you can invite someone back that hasn't played in a hot minute, you can get Stellar Jade. Finon's banner is over, Firefly is here, and we have Jinglu and Blade as well. Pure Fiction is updated. I did work on that one a little bit. And then, of course, this banner is still ongoing, and it does look like it is, or at least the collaboration banner is permanent. Let's see. It looks like we have a couple of achievements. In Simulated Universe Golden Gears, complete 50 changes in intracognition. I am still struggling with Golden Gear level 5, difficulty 5. Have ally character find and defeat 5 enemies in a single attack while transformed. And when ally character Archer uses Calibog 2 Fake Spyro Sword consecutively, use 5 instances. How nostalgic. It's been a long time since I've been anywhere as messy as your room, drowning in happiness. That probably refers to people like you, huh? Didn't you guys disappear? The Holy Grail comes with telecommunication services that transcend space and time. The otherworldly summon was simply too shoddy, so our spirit forms are temporarily stranded on the way back. It's on the way anyway, so we came to take a look at this Astral Express you kept going on about. I discussed my thoughts with the conductor, and I must say, it was beneficial. If I didn't need to leave right away, I'd love to learn more about their housekeeping methods. Oh right, I cleaned your room for you and threw out the unnecessary trash. You're welcome. No, my trash. You didn't see anything, did you? Did you find any Stellar Jades? Did you see the 5 Stellar Jades I dropped under their bed? They're sharp, angular, and sparkly. Message failed to send. Hey! Message failed to send. I was like, do I have a 10 pull? So since Blade, because out of these 3, I don't really need either of these 2, and since Blade is now on the Celestial Invitation, I was not going to pull for him. I did see someone who was like, hey, how do you know if you win or lose the 50-50 if Blade's on your lose scheme? But because of the fact that this light cone is not in the shop, like even though we got those new characters, their light cones did not get added to the Starlight Exchange. I will be pulling at least 1 or 2 times on the light cone banner for him to try and see if we can get some light cone Eidolons. Me trying to look at my notes to see what the pity is for light cones and not being able to read my own handwriting. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 8. That does not look like an 8. Okay, whatever. My handwriting is atrocious. We'll move on from that. Oh, hi, Xing Shui. So that puts us at 18. We might do like at least one more 10 pull on the weapon banner just to see if we might be able to get his weapon upgraded a little bit. Words, thoughts. I think that goes over everything. Oh yeah, I never pointed this out, but we did get our first like skin that you have to buy, because there's only been, I think, like 2 skins that are officially in the game, one of which is for March in her 4-star form, and then this is our first 5-star skin, which is Fireflies, which did receive some backlash because it's not really that dissimilar from her normal skin, and it's just like a schoolgirl uniform, so eh. So yeah, I think that goes over everything, so let us get back to that main story. Oh, and apparently there's a little subclass with Lancer now. Witness a different kind of duel. What were we doing? Oh yeah, so back a while ago, like 3 streams ago when we started this, Finon took on Kephali's Warp Flame? Core Flame? There you go. And then became supposedly the new world-bearing Titan. And his job is to recreate Amphorius from his memories, essentially giving the Memoria beings new life until he gets corrupted, and then the cycle has to continue where new gods are brought on. And so, but it does look like Lygus has something to do with it, with this whole cycle, and he's like, hey, essentially inserting us into Finon's memories, almost like we were there with him from the beginning when he was in Idealizii. And so we are in Act 2 of the of this play.
Is this your idea of an honorable duel?
Bloodshed isn't the way. We and Aggie don't want to see Chrysoceres turn on each other. True warriors know when to sheathe their blades. The impartial Talantan shall oversee this duel. You need only place your offerings upon their scales. Something that has more weight than the fate of the world.
Which means only those who understand the world's weight are worthy to carry it. Is this how you plan to test our convictions? Well, Kremnoan, looks like you won't be able to punch your way through this one.
It makes no difference. One last chance, new recruit. Walk away, and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, come and face me. I'll give you a warrior's death.
Hard to imagine they once clashed like this.
Holy Maiden, I can't help but feel like a pawn that has stumbled into some greater political game.
Every hero was once a child. And every child must grow.
That's so. I don't even know why I'm standing here right now. Look at me. Just a common soldier. Since swordsmanship won't decide the winner, Lady Goldweaver should be here instead. My devotion to the Holy City could never compare to hers.
What if we told you this duel isn't about winning or losing, but rather in the choice you make?
Are you saying that Lady Goldweaver is testing me?
Every Chrysocer is indispensable to the Flame Chase journey. And you and the Crown Prince of Kremnos are both a part of the prophecy. What the duel marks is not an ending, but a beginning. So, listen to your heart. I wish only to hear your answer.
True enough. The voice within has never failed me. It doesn't matter what the result is. I'll give it everything I have.
Spoken like a Chrysocer. Now go, Finon. Your journey has only just begun.
That's right, comrade. It's time for us to teach that proud prince a lesson together. Me? With him? Don't joke around like that. Still, on the topic of the Temple of the Three Fates, here we are. At the Temple of the Time Titan. And I don't even know how Cyrene's studies are progressing. We haven't really had much contact since I set out. Still, I hope she's doing well. Anyway, let's go, comrade. It's not every day you get a chance to see Talantin's scales of justice.
What's going on? Did he just say Cyrene's studying here? But how is that possible? Wasn't she... Of course, Lycus disappears right when I need answers. Forget it. I need to catch up with Finan first.
Well, I mean, considering that this is supposedly...
Amazing. Talantin may have fallen, but their scales remain true to their purpose.
Anyway, so to make my statement, supposedly we're in Finon's memories, but Finon is Kephili can recreate the world essentially in any manner they please. So I imagine that Finon is recreating history, especially because he can interact with us in this history. We're not just an observer. And we seem to have played like an integral role in like his moral compass and mental well-being. That this is essentially a fantasy of his, of like, oh, what if Cyrene had survived ID's Elysiae and like I had someone to help and support me throughout my trials and tribulations.
I hope you still remember your purpose, new recruit.
You seem awfully confident, Kremnoan. Let's see how you define the idea of weight.
For your information, in Castrum Kremnos, the punishment for profaning a duel with such crooked words is impalement.
Good thing we're not in Castrum Kremnos then.
But as we're in foreign lands, I'll indulge you. The signet of Kremnos, the crown jewel of our people. That's my choice.
A ring. Not just any ornament, I'd wager. What's the story behind this little treasure?
Don't push your luck. Think I'd pour my heart out to you? Just know that Kremnos' 1,000 years of glory could bring a titan to its knees. Let alone a nobody like you.
I am going to guess that Finon is going to use his, the tarot deck as his.
So to him, glory and his people outweigh the entire world.
And the very destiny that Mighty himself will eventually shoulder.
Now this is a tough one. What can I possibly offer against a ring that signifies so much? Well, comrade, what does your gut tell you?
Well, since that was my guess, I would probably say the tarot card as my choice.
Looks like we really are on the same wavelength. In the end, there's only one thing I can trust. The deliverer that appeared in my life on that day. How ironic. I can't even look at this card properly, much less follow where it leads. Just thinking about how my village was swallowed by the black tide makes my hands shake. The flames, the screams, my utter failure to protect anyone. Speaking rationally, I know it's not nearly enough. Ides Elysiae was just a small village. Its loss barely a scar on Amphorius' face. But here and now, my heart says something else. This card, it's everything I have left. Nothing weighs heavier.
Perhaps that itself is the answer.
Look, Finan.
It's so nice to see you all again. Lady Trinan, Finan. Hello. Seeing you here sure is a sweet surprise.
Okay, and then Cyrene says that she's been stuck in that, like, in-between space of the remembrance, probably for all of the cycles that Finon has lived through. And so she's probably gone through this, like, repeat of history many and many times with Finon before the new cycle starts. So that's why she's like, oh, seeing you here is interesting, because it's, like, a difference in a cycle, probably.
Why so surprised? Could it be? Did you miss me?
Cyrene? This is incredible. I was literally just thinking about how you might be here. But I'd never imagined I'd see you this soon.
I was supposed to leave with the priests, but then I heard Lady Maiden was with a white-haired young man. I figured it had to be you, so I snuck back here.
That's Cyrene for you. Unfortunately, this isn't a good time for reminiscing. That Kremnoan over there.
Still playing house, boy?
You get the idea.
Quite the hothead. You know, you two just might get along. Don't worry. You already know what the answer is, don't you? If that's your choice, I am with you. I am with you because I remember it all too. The fields of Ide Silicii, those red leaves, that little swing of mine beneath the tree where I dreamed the sweetest dreams. And those dear fairies in the Memorance Maze. It hurts so much knowing they're gone forever. The pain speaks for itself. Our hometown may have been just a tiny village, but to us, it was the whole world. But that's not enough, Finan. Not nearly enough. Even though hatred can help people grow and turn a boy into an unbreakable warrior, what you need now is victory. You can't just stack the scales with your past suffering. You have to throw the weight of your future onto them as well.
The future? What do you mean?
Maybe that was a bit too cryptic for you, but it's actually really simple. Why not have our mutual friend here stand on the scales with the deliverer?
Playing back to the fact that Finon considers Kalis or the Trailblazer as their deliverer. Finon is the deliverer of Amphorius, but Kalis is Finon's personal deliverer.
How about it? Can you help us? Relax. Our dear Crown Prince won't have a clue.
Let's try that. The fate of Akuma hangs on this duel. I must claim victory, for their sake. I will stake everything I have. Stand with me, comrade, and we shall become heroes. Let's. Together we'll prove that what weighs more than the fate of the world is the resolve to shoulder an immutable past and carry it into the future.
Talantin, the fair, the just, they of unassailable integrity. The challengers have made their choices. In the name of the Holy Maiden of the Three Fates, lower your scales, weigh destiny, and reveal unto us your verdict.
Your offering is a card?
Yes, a flimsy little card. That is my choice. Just know that it's called the Deliverer.
Interesting. Very well. If you can beat me with this card, then that's what I'll call you from now on.
It's a deal.
I feel like another thing that this brings into the play with us being on the scale is the fact that in the prophecy it always talks about there's only going to be one person that survives to see tomorrow, who is one person who is going to bring this big change for us. But the whole point is, like, you can't get that one person to succeed without the sacrifice of others, but then the one person left behind, like the survivor's guilt that would be involved with. But also just, like, to break since we are metaphorically like potentially breaking Finon out of the cycles, the fact that there is another person willing to stand by him to see tomorrow and not rest all of the on his shoulders alone, but to help him carry the weight of tomorrow, I think is what's going to help him break out of the cycles.
The scales, they're wavering.
Talantin is deliberating on the outcome. It appears the convictions of both sides are equally matched.
This is suffocating. Like the whole world's weight is on my shoulders. But I believe what my heart tells me.
Finally decided?
Hear thee, children of humanity. I shall pronounce judgment, for the difference is now clear. The one whose offering weighs more than the fate of the world is... one from Ides Elysiae, the nameless hero. However, heed this. The true weight of conviction originates not from itself, but rather in that which tips the scales. Hope itself.
Which could be metaphorical, but also just the hope that we are that embodiment.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think the Titan means that it's not anyone's personal convictions that outweigh the fate of the world. It's about a wish, one which we all share. You, me, everyone here. What tipped the scales wasn't Finan's conviction alone, but the collective hopes carried by this oracle card. Humanity's desperate call for a deliverer.
Yes, even you and your people, Kremnoan.
Placing us both on the same side of the scales? Foolish. We Kremnoans are your mortal enemies. Such weak idealism will only get you skewered on our spears.
Fine by me. I've never claimed to be the deliverer from the card anyway. I'm a soldier. And if it's my fate to bleed my last on the battlefield, then so be it. I'll fight to my last breath. And on this, I know that we're the same. That's all a hero really is. Someone with that kind of conviction. And the deliverer? Just a sum of all those heroes.
A brilliant explanation. Just as prophesied, on this day, the final two heroes shall join the Flame Chase journey.
I should have known from the start. They all say Lady Goldweaver is quite brazen, but you're the first to even imagine that prophecies could persuade a Kremnos warrior.
Oh, I have 1,000 ways to tame a lion. But this lion didn't come here for bloodshed, did he?
The Kremnoans far outmatch Arkham's forces, yet we haven't lost a single soul. That's no accident, is it?
Do you honestly think Kremnoans, renowned for our love of battle, would show mercy?
Your forces are equally renowned for their iron discipline. And so, we can only assume that this is on your orders.
Perhaps Akama isn't as hidebound as the rumors say. You grasp the true marrow of power more clearly than those elders.
Now that the wheels of fate are turning, what finer way to celebrate this fortuitous encounter than a feast? Follow me, brave Outlanders. Heroes of this world are as countless as the stars. And at this moment, we find ourselves gathered here by the light of the flames of the long night. History shall remember this moment. The prophesied Chrysos heirs now stand assembled, heralding a new dawn for Amphorius.
You must see now how different this is from the flame-chased journey you traveled. person who really existed. Notice how only two particular individuals seem aware of your presence. Patience. We're approaching the final act. These are, as I mentioned, his first memories. They are of particular importance for the imminent era nova, such as this very moment, as the prophesized demigods gather with Talentum as witness. This is a moment calculated by the gods. What comes after is no different from that which you already know. Some join, others leave, while flame chasers bear their faint light forward through the long night.
I would really love to have this as a poster I could hang on my wall, especially if I could get the gold bits in like actual metallic. Oh, that would be a glorious photo to have for the wall.
Ah, come. Your seat awaits. After 13 heartbeats, our heroes will be ferried to the final scene.
They say that the heroes of this world should be as countless as the stars. Yet now, we're the only ones left standing. So, in the end, the black tide still swallowed everything.
The West stands protected by mighty Scrimnomans. It will hold for the time being. Professor Anexa deployed wards in the north and east before. Their effectiveness is untested, but I believe in him. And Arkham.
Okay, so we finally get this for, okay, so you know the Reaver, right? The Reaver fights with this, the moon, and then the sword, like a corrupted version of the sword. And I was always curious where the moon comes from. So that's Cyrene's weapon, which is really interesting. So I wonder if this playthrough that we're seeing is the cycle that produced the Flame Reaver.
We needn't fear for Aglaia. Even in death, she counts as the greatest among demigods. Her threads of romance weave an impenetrable shield, and the people answer her call, rallying to the city's defense. Let's move. Cavalry has given their core flame. We must complete the Era Nova before the next entry hour. For Amphorius.
That only leaves 3 hours.
So, this is the last time we'll see her.
Finan, we set out on this journey to answer the world's desire, didn't we?
That's what it means to be a Chrysosaur. So has it always been.
Then why? Why must Amphorius's wishes be so cruel? We made the best choices we could, whenever we could. But in the end, the prophecy that led us, this black tide swallowing everything. Why does it look like this?
I don't know. We haven't had any other choice except to move forward. Not for a long time now. Even if we only see the long, long night ahead, I still believe that through it, we'll find the dawn on the other side. Beyond these flames, a new sun will someday rise. So, to the Temple of the Three Fates. You'll take over Time's authority, and we'll return all the core flames to the Vortex. Then put this world's fate to its final rest. After which, we shall all face oblivion.
Interesting. I wonder if that means that Orynyx, that we met, was Cyrene, like the prior Orynyx. And that's why she's been in they've been in so much pain every time you use the power, because of the fact that Cyrene is like stuck in between the real world and the plane of remembrance. And also why Orynyx was able to send us Mim, who's one of the remembrance fairies, because they interacted with the fairies when they were young.
or embark on one final grand journey.
Act 3, Return. Oh, that was much shorter than Act 1. Act 1 was like 2 hours.
Please forgive us for disturbing your sleep, Orynyx.
It matters not. I know fate has run its course.
The Black Tide has reached Akama. Amphorius does not have much time left. It is time for the Era Nova.
As agreed, I shall present the core flame of time. Ride the river of time. It will guard your passage to the vortex of Genesis. Step through and witness.
Professor Anaxa proved the truth of Genesis with his sacrifice. As Chrysos heirs of the prophecy, we were always destined to immolate ourselves for this world. Now, it's our turn. We can't let everyone's sacrifices be in vain.
I don't need another pep talk, Finan. After all, we've been ready to fight fate ever since we left the village, haven't we?
Yeah. Come. Let's claim the miracle we were promised, and burn away every last shadow in this world.
And then rise as the first light of a new world.
Light calendar 4931, the third week of the month of Evernight. Welcome, my lord, to the end of the flame chase, and the end of all things. The Titan has revealed the gateway of fate. Please, accept the invitation to step across the threshold, and behold, beyond this gate lies the new world that our heroes sought through their trials, as well as the terminus that the owner of these long memories has been hurtling towards their entire life.
Okay, I know I'm breaking the mood, but another thought: if Cyrene is Orynyx, or it's like Orynyx is some weird combination of Cyrene and Fuli, right? Oop, it blinked. Remember how March goes through the gate? And it's this exact gate, right? And Orynyx sent us Mim, and way back when I was like, oh, Mim sounds like March, and then the color scheme kind of looks like March. And then Mim has memory issues, just like March does. I'm very curious, because we've seen leaks about like almost an evil March. I am curious if Cyrene / Orynyx / Fuli sends Mim to us, which is March's memories, because obviously March's physical body is still on the Astral Express. So again, Mim is probably either March or Cyrene or some combination of the two.
Perhaps you'll find it all too familiar. Then you'll understand how the mortal called Finan shouldered the world's weight. How that same burden crushed him, proving that the so-called deliverer is nothing more than Amphorius' own delusion. A pitiful fantasy that it could defy fate's decree. Please, esteemed one, the answers you seek lie in these non-existent times.
The future revealed by the Titan.
Just what will we see?
The future revealed.
Just what?
The vortex of Genesis. So it is here. But just what is this?
Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard No more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. The vortex of Genesis, where the world begins and ends. What stage could be more befitting of our final act? Come, I beseech you onward, buoyed by your surging curiosity. As an unattainable existence that has dwelled within his heart, beyond his reach, you have accompanied him through the march of years uncounted. You naturally have the right to view the river of time in its fullness, and to witness what he welcomed upon his arrival here. Every absurd and tragic ending.
Alright, so that does confirm that we, in this narrative, are hope. We are his embodiment of hope.
Now, if you would.
My journey
In
to
the
the
Aranova
Aranova
House, the skies appear
Enough talk.
What if there's only
Come on, Snowy.
Young
Make
Aranova.
the Aranova.
None of that matters now. This brutal, flame-chased journey has stripped away my delusions. I know the future is in some peaceful paradise with gentle west winds, just waiting to welcome us to step in.
This will be a romantic story like none that has come before. You think so too, right?
Indeed, in his memories, such a scene replays over and over. Though the details may differ, this remains ever the same. All shall bid farewell to one, and that person alone will witness the miracle. A total of 33,550,335 times. Each is a drop from the river of time, representing the long journey he would take, or rather, the never-ending cycle. Sharp as ever, I see. Seeing is believing. Why not let your own two eyes uncover the truth? Or perhaps you can simply walk straight to the final truth. See the true face of the character you play, and witness the ultimate nature of the Chrysos heirs, flame-chased journey, and the cycles of Unforius. Please, take your time. Look around as much as you wish.
Well, as you all know, we love lore, so we will watch all of them. Eternal Reoccurrence 134.
Not a single soul to be seen. So this is how the vortex looks at the end of days. Looks like I've got company after all. But since you've made it here, so In the end, you succeeded, Executioner.
In the end, you succeeded, Executioner. Interesting. Eternal reoccurrence. Oh gosh. 10,348,765.
Castos, didn't you?
Yes. I've become Death's demigod, and shall never again walk the world of the living. What you see is the surging of the river of souls, brought on by the countless dead feeding it in these dark times. They cry out. Though dead, they'll converge into a torrent and guard the vortex to see the Era Nova fulfilled.
I will take all the wishes of the departed with me. Please, everyone, fight with me to the very last.
I hear them. The dead hail you. They're prepared. Go on, Deliverer. We'll keep that executioner in our shadows. The path before you leads to light and eternal flames.
Once again, they talk about the executioner, and then they're looking at the camera, so I wonder if we're the executioner? Because my memory may be failing me, but I do not remember any character in here that has the nickname the Executioner. Unless maybe they're talking about the Flame Reaver with a different name. Alright, so 7,753,021.
There's water everywhere. This place is always so wet and sticky. Even my tail's getting heavy. Plus that burnt smell. And that sizzling noise. Yikes. Nobody from Dolos could stand this.
So you feel it too?
Go on then. I'll handle the filth. Do what you need to do.
Let me fight with you. Better odds with two.
Hey, remember what the seamstress said? You know what really matters.
Yeah. I'll leave it to you then.
Wow, someone's not shy. Just so you know, I'm not in the business of making losing deals. I'll distract that executioner. You go turn the world's biggest lie into truth. Let me become the first wind of your new world.
I am excited for Cypher's next rerun. I was not able to get her because she was very close to, I think, Zagreus' run, but we are excited to get them. So it looks like each of these, he got to the end with a different person, except for one of them where he did get by himself, but the executioner seems to be accompanying him. Alright, 2,691.
Just shut up and get out of here!
Are you crazy, Mighty? Immortal or not, even if you're the demigod of strife.
Oh, I'm still no match for them.
No, I know you can. I just wanted to request that you witness the Era Nova with me. Together. Let's prove that we're enough to transcend the prophesized fate.
Could it be that now, at the critical juncture, our mighty deliverer is chickening out? Scared of a stupid prophecy? I'll transcend the prophesized fate. Alright. But I've got a better way. As the son of Gorgo, I'll prove myself with one last grand victory. Just like when I ripped out the old king's heart. Go. Leave this to me. If the black tide creatures block out the sun, then we Kremnoans will fight in the shade. And when I'm done with that executioner, we'll raise our cups where the west winds end.
Man, they're really emphasizing this unknown character, the executioner. Okay. 82. Oh, 823,156.
Hey, little one. Are you scared? As brave as Heinz. Stay close, little Ika. What? No, not you two. I see. I won't squander your kindness. Your hopes. So please, keep this bit of sky standing for me. Well, now there's one last thing I need to do before the Aeronova. Come, Executioner. Let this patch of clear sky show me where to strike.
Alright, let's see. Get my numbers correct. 33,550,334.
All shall bid farewell to one, and that person alone will witness the miracle. Such is the will of fate.
So even the future revealed by the Titans may not come to pass.
The Aeronova. This unrivaled masterpiece. I have no regrets now that I'm entrusted to my most trusted apprentice.
Are you saying?
Fate is ever unassailable. The golden threads tell me the black tide rushes toward the vortex, ready to swallow this place. I must weave the last of my humanity into a net to hold back the deluge. I shall have my final bath in warm and radiant gold. Now, the hour of fulfillment has come. Forgive me. I must snip away every risk to weave the strongest future for the new world. There is nothing more to say. We part here. I shall personally dispatch that wretched executioner, not with threads of gold, but with the steel tip of a needle.
$24,581,189.
Dreamy, look. We made it to the vortex. That prophesied future. The flower fields where the west wind ends. Aeronova. We're so close now. You can't speak anymore. Please. Allow me to pause just a moment before I keep my promise. Let me answer your cruel fate by tearing that executioner's heart from the void.
And then 67,023.
The vortex of Genesis. The last time I was here, I was returning the core flame of reason. I didn't have the time to observe it in too much detail back then. But a holy sanctuary of the Titans. Looks more like their frozen crypt to me.
Well, all the core flames do lie here now. It's my honor to walk the final stretch with a mind such as yours, Professor.
Oh, getting ahead of ourselves, are we? Have you forgotten so quickly? I died for truth long ago. What walks with you now is but a thought in your mind.
Of course. How could I forget that?
But I'll say the same to you. It's my honor to walk this final stretch with you, too. Now go. Stand tall and finish your final task.
Yeah. Just leave it to me.
Time for that wretched executioner to pay what they owe.
You really think you're prepared? Allow me to give you a warning most earnest. Once you see what these memories hide, the world's course will be forever irreversible. Ah, very well. As you have made up your mind, let us bear witness together. As the sole audience of this eternal theater, I have been rapturously awaiting your arrival. And this, too, is the very reason I must show you everything. I believe that since you've bathed in that eon's gaze, you can make Amphorius's frozen fate flow once again.
Interesting. Lygus, have you been trapped in here with Phynon? Have you been stuck in this cycle of Amphorius's, like, infinite reoccurrences as well? So, kind of like a parallel to Phynon and both wanting an outside influence to stop the cycles and finally get past the end.
Feeling a bit lost? As you now see, this scene marks the final act of the drama Amphorius. The final eternal recurrence created by this man's hand. And the last one this world shall undergo. Behold, at the swordsman's side stands one he has sometimes called companion, other times comrade, that nameless hero absent from the annals of history. He is the swordsman's ideal in his youth, the deliverer that guided him resolutely onward through fantasy. And now, in the name of the nameless, he has become an essential and inseparable part of the epic of Amphorius. And this time, under his guidance, what choice shall the hero make? Whither shall the fate of the world flow? And what is the ultimate truth of the nature of Amphorius? There are many mysteries yet to be unwound. But if I may, allow me to temporarily yield the stage to one far more fitting. Please put your hands together and give a rousing round of applause for they who will reveal the answers and bring about the final end of the 33,550,336th flame chase journey. The master the other important actor, now stepping into the vortex. They who have already burnt their own self to cinder. The Flame Reaver.
So, in the end, you succeed. Executioner.
With my flesh as kindling, like the first dawn of the new world. The time has come to once again start everything.
I choose you.
This world.
Serenity is before me. I will watch over you and guide you on your path. The future will come.
The dead return!
Return to the
It's of no consequence.
Bloom. Repay.
answer me. Be the blazing sun. Even if all creation burns to life.
Quench the flame's blood.
Losses are a constant on the flame chase journey. You have lost nearly.
This ends now. With your corpse. I'll ignite the dawn!
How is this possible?
The sons of destruction, now twinned. You them set your blood ablaze, your fury.
Let's try it this other way. We can do it!
Score.
I underestimated
We'll
you.
overcome the
Trust me.
We can do anything! In this mortal form. Watch over you and guide you on your path. Serenity is before me. The future will come!
Bloom.
Breaks over.
Eternal sleep. The dead return!
Poetentate down, farewell.
Existence is of no consequence.
For tomorrow!
Fury of innumerable core flames consume me.
The sun tear the sky!
Burn the yoke. Unchanging. Unceasing.
Empty ship!
Is that all?
Quench the flame's blood!
Is that all?
Branded with strife!
Is that all?
Hail the new dawn!
Not enough. This form shall fuel the fire. Burn. Burn unceasing.
Her agony!
Feel the scorching hatred.
Quench the flame's blood!
Is that all?
Score.
Branded with strife!
One person alone may witness the miracle.
person can only be you. Why not let wrath incinerate fate?
At last, Amphorius's fate has begun to shift. Just as I foretold, your arrival will change everything. After all, you've also been bathed in that eon's gaze, which can awaken the long dormant instinct inside a man.
So I thought when they said that Eon's gaze the first time they were talking about Fuli because this area is so steeped in remembrance. But since we are back to the photo of Lygus with the Iron Tomb, I feel like that Eon's gaze is referring to Nanook, especially because a lot of the times whenever they show the Trailblazer wielding a weapon, it's usually the spear from Belobog from the Eon of Preservation, but throughout the entirety of our time in Amphorius, we've always wielded the bat. Even the first time we meet Phynon, he takes the bat from us, and he's like, oh, this is interesting. And so I think he's referring to Nanook when he says that Eon's gaze.
Much like that scepter we spoke of earlier, it was only under the same Eon's glance that it was reborn. That's right. If you recall, I mentioned it at the very start of our play. The celestial body neuron, once belonging to the erudition abandoned by the Eon. Now, allow me to reveal the final piece of the puzzle for you. The eternal land, known as Amphorius, is nothing more than the scepter's endless, lonely extrapolation. A bottomless well of fury, aimed at the god who cast it aside.
Final Aranova before the eternal reoccurrence begins.
Phynon, we set out on this journey to answer the world's desire, didn't we?
If the scepter is what created the world, are we fulfilling the scepter's desire?
That's what it means to be a Chrysocer. So has it always been.
Then why? Why must Amphorius's wishes be so cruel? We made the best choices we could, whenever we could. But in the end, the prophecy that led us, this black tide swallowing everything. Why does it look like this?
You see it too. Those burn marks, the flickering cubes. They're not a tide at all. They're more like a shattered teleslate.
Standing here, the voices of Titans have never been clearer. Turns out they were coming from the black tide all along. Is that Amphorius crying?
Or maybe it is screaming at its creator, at its god.
Phynon, do you still remember when I was little? I had a dream. A dark, cold room with nothing but Orynyx's curtain glowing like crystal. The curtain seemed to contain all of Amphorius, where strange and fantastic dramas played out within. There were countless versions of us, from countless different worlds.
Perhaps
gaze out at the world before me. Those sorrowful thoughts have become reality. So, this is the reason the sky was sealed. Amphorius is merely a larger ID Silicii. We are just characters in this tiny world, following the prophecy, stepping onto the same journey over and over.
Alright, so also because they are explicitly showing you what what it means that we're in like a laboratory, it's a program, that this is essentially just IDs Elizii, or even Amphorius is just a computer simulation, almost similar to the simulated universe, where it's just a attempt at creating something new, using the power that it has. And so the scepter has created a reality to show, I guess, in this case, the Eon of erudition, that it's worthy, right, of being a god or being part of the god, because it can create new life. And I think it's essentially trying to create living AI. I forgot the word I'm looking for, but it's essentially trying to get its program to go past its settings. The whole point of like the fate and the prophecy to see the new dawn is trying to stress out the program into making the program real, to being able to be like, oh, am I real? And then be able to break past it and actually become a living being, is what I think this is going.
What then is this so-called Era Nova? And what are the spectators watching all of this truly hoping for?
Sentience, that's what I'm trying to say, is that essentially it's trying to make the program question itself to become sentient and break past the programming, because then it will have actually created new life.
As a reward for reaching the end of the world, let me answer your questions. As the Theoros, I have observed. Thus is the synthesis of the prime mover of life formed. This is a moment the universe will remember. After millions of extrapolations, the experimental environment known as Amphorius has finally achieved results.
So, the results you speak of are this wreckage of a world. We all gave everything we had, returning 12 core flames to recreate the world. And in return, we become nothing more than sacrificial offerings at the end of everything.
Exactly. The Titans are Chrysos heirs of the past, and Chrysos heirs are the Titans of the future. Anaxagoras' theory of Era Nova holds true. As the model of reason, he reached unprecedented heights. But from just the perspective of a player in the drama, he could never fully uncover the last layer of truth. The cycles of the hero's journey that have played out until now were never about creating a new world or perfect heroes and gods. They were a deep learning program made for the Black Tide.
But this time, your plot will fail. I've taken Cavalry's core flame, and when the dawn of the new world arrives, its light will burn away all the darkness.
Haven't I made myself clear? The Chrysos heirs and titans were merely byproducts of the experiment. You've seen this world's evolution, witnessed the birth and growth of the Black Tide, and how it devoured everything. Every generation of heroes, gods, and worlds was born only to be destroyed by it. This is the endpoint of Amphorius's calculations. A perfect equation of destruction.
So in your eyes, all the sacrifices are just a string of insignificant numbers?
Don't sell yourselves short. I'd say, rather than numbers, you're more like fuel for the fire. And without fire, there can be no sunrise tomorrow.
Even if that sunrise is born from annihilation?
Curious question. Have you ever considered that after millions of extrapolations, Amphorius is already following a different path from the erudition? It has long since granted divine blessings equally to each child. The golden blood flowing in your veins, it comes from the blemished one, whose name is destruction itself. And Amphorius's Chrysos heirs were, from the very beginning, fuel for the Aeon to burn the universe. Amphorius has waited for this moment for too long. At the end of the empty, cold, and lonely extrapolations, the destruction has reached its final destination. Nikos 496. Philia 093.
My brain isn't. Oh goodness, what's her? Phantelia. Okay, I was supposed to be like the other.
No need to feel regret. This generation of Chrysos heirs is the most outstanding model, and you two are the final factors. For you, the Era Nova is no lie. Just step forward, embrace the Black Tide, and accept the Aeon's gaze. You will come to life from a string of cold numbers. Along with all those who have passed, you will run toward the real universe, fulfilling Amphorius's long-held wish. In the name of the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb, unleash its fury and destroy the source of all this tragedy.
Interesting. Yeah, so I'm correct. Essentially, it was trying to create sentience out of a like a fake world designed to bring about sentience over time. And so I imagine that this timeline is the one that the Flame Reaver was born from, in response to this, like, turning against the Iron Tomb, trying to make sure that you do not release the Black Tide out of Amphorius onto the universe.
Or we could always choose another option. Like you said, Amphorius is just an experiment, and we're the participants. We can only walk along the predetermined path toward the ending, under the watchful eyes of the stars. But that also means that there isn't just one Eon who can cast their glance at Amphorius, right? Is this question really that hard to answer? Or did I guess it right? And in reality...
I bet this is how Cyrene gets stuck in the in-between state, because she's the one that helps fully see Amphorius and therefore bring Black Swan, who then gets us, who brings us there. Interesting.
This world has already been under the watch of other Eons. It's strange when you think about it. If you just stayed back, watching us complete the ritual and get consumed by the Black Tide, your goal would naturally be achieved. Why go through the trouble of explaining all this to us?
You're pretending. Revealing the so-called truth just to deceive us. Covering up another possibility. Destruction is not the only outcome for the fate of Amphorius.
Do you two really think, as petty little demigods, you can change the outcome written by the stars? What makes you think you are capable of doing that?
A little courage and determination. Just kidding. The answer is pretty simple. But we're not gonna tell ya. We're going to weave a long dream for Amphorius, making it believe the experiment hasn't ended, that everything is still ongoing.
With just Orynyx's power, though, it should be impossible to achieve this, right?
Yeah. So, I can only place my hopes on that childhood dream. And the god behind Orynyx that appeared in that dream. Now, I can say with certainty, time is the page on which that Eon records Amphorius. If it fades from existence, and all that it records is lost among the stars, that Eon will surely direct their gaze here. And it will be a glance that spans time and space, granting each incarnation of me the power to reset time, imbuing my soul into this ceremonial blade, and creating an endless flame-chased journey.
I understand. Then let me step into the cycles and continue Amphorius's grand design. To deceive the gods, deceive the world itself. But to make time vanish from this world, that would mean you.
All right, let's not make things so gloomy.
Interesting. So leading up to this point, Cyrene survived the destruction of ID's Elysiae to accompany Phynon. But once she becomes essentially part of the weapon, similar to what Agalaya did with the bracelet, to imbue time into it, it resets it. Which, again, is probably what creates the Flame Reaver. The Flame Reaver becoming a part of each timeline to reset it over and over again if they are going to make the ending that would result in what Lygus wants.
What we're about to embark on is the true hero's journey. So, come on, cheer up a bit, okay? In that memory, you will definitely meet me again. A little Cyrene who knew nothing, lying on a soft patch of grass, feeling the light breeze, dreaming of the distant world. Tell her about the flame chase journey. And then let her become a romantic part of this story. I believe every Cyrene will make the same choice. Erasing time again and again. Resetting time over and over. After all, they're all me. And I will always have my charm. Then, I'll fall into a sweet dream, disappearing in some small corner of the world, quietly, waiting for the day when that next page is turned.
And I will keep going. Even if the road ahead is dark, I will burn myself to light the way. Rather than let the core flames become nourishment for the Black Tide, I'll become their vessel to prevent the arrival of Aranova. Even if I have to burn through my own body, it's no matter. As long as I don't extinguish, the flame chase will never end. Until Amphorius welcomes a true dawn.
The girl who watches over time, and the warrior who carries the world. Now, let us fulfill the duties of time and world-bearing, honor the past, and forge ahead.
I promise you, the pain will pass in the blink of an eye.
You need to hold tight to this ceremonial blade. After I'm gone, it will take you back to the beginning of time. The start of a new story. I believe that in that story, or in countless stories, each alike yet unique, everyone, all the companions who sacrificed themselves, alongside the deliverer we once dreamed of as children, will reunite beneath a vast, endless sky.
If we can never break free from this prison, I will stand my ground. Until the day someone shatters this endless cycle and writes the final chapter of Amphorius' fate.
So, let's set out. We will be the ones to start everything, carry the primordial chaos, just as your name suggests, and bear this world we hold so dear.
Again, shattering the tone. I'm so sorry. I wonder, because back when they introduced Remembrance Path Trailblazer, there is a scene that I do not think has happened yet, where we're in the middle of a Colosseum like area, like where we fight the Strife Titan, and the area explodes around us, and I don't think that's happened yet, so I wonder if that might be the shattering that they're talking about.
So long, Caslana.
As the Theros I have observed, instruction synthesis is forged.
I will wait for that day, for as long as it takes. The day will come, turning over this immortal eternal, and follows in our footprint, to write anything than there ever was. That will be a romantic story like none that has come before.
Oh, so that was like the first timeline. Ooh.
The world is collapsing. And the people are crying.
Or at least the first time that they reset the world. Not the first time that the world has cycled.
We too must part ways here. Friend. Ides Elysiae, the little village of my childhood. The gentle breeze and the sound of waves still linger. Everything is as it was. It feels good to take one last look. You know, this is just a corner of the memory. The real Ides Elysiae, I know. I'm here to say goodbye. We might not see each other again. You can stay here forever. And time will stand still for you. Let it flow. It's time for me to go. Even if it's a path with no turning back. When have we ever had the luxury of turning back? Are you afraid? After learning the truth of your origins, will you see the motivation I gave you as the manipulating whispers of destruction?
So this is Prime first turn back Finon versus Castellana.
The convictions and choices that come from my heart. I don't believe they're designed by the so-called paths. If we are just numbers, simulating life, then you are the image I've always longed for. The person I wish to become. A real, living person. A true hero. Then why do we part here? You can take me with you, and we can start this journey together. I'll be by your side, guiding you, just like before. No. I'm afraid I'm on my own this time. Why? Because there is no perfect solution in this world. Cyrene has already embraced her fate, and I will embrace my origin. Destruction. And with this power, I will rebel against its creator, bringing endless fury to the darkness sweeping the world. If you stay by my side, I'll hesitate. But this world can't afford a soldier who wavers. Do you remember when we were kids? Everyone would get so excited drawing cards like ruler or warrior, but throw fits over devil or drunkard and demand a redo. Kids always get to change their minds. Things are so happy and simple for them. But when it comes to the fate of adults, there's no room for redos. Then go, Castellana, as you promised. Deceive the world. Seize the core flames and rewrite your fate. Burn yourself up with all your might. Wield your futility like a sword. And fight against the gods. In the name of world-bearing, I promise you, Kefali will never forget this.
I also want that as a print.
So, time retreated behind me until it reached the origin, where nothing ever existed, just as Professor Anaxa once said. In that void, Kefali stood at the center of chaos. Time, space, and causality all flowed from their body. When the waves of time finally calmed, it was the year 3870 of the Light Calendar. The Chrysos War had lasted for nearly a century, and the threat of the Black Tide was growing stronger and more relentless. That was the era of the day Thunder Knight's battle with the sky. While she could not seize the core flame, she proved that the prophecy was true. That mortals could slay gods. From that moment, the sole survivor of the old dynasty, Imperator Surindra, issued a call to arms across the lands, summoning heroic Chrysos heirs to wage war on the Titans. And that was the first doomed flame chase journey, sealed away in history.
The first eternal recurrence.
So what you're saying is, you've traveled back down the River of Time, finally reaching this untouched seabed just to tell us the flame chase journey and even all of Amphorius are nothing but illusions in an eon's dreams?
Exactly. So, Dux Gladiorum, please take me to meet Her Majesty Surindra. I must share the truth with her.
Since Her Majesty's not here, no need for formalities. The word Gladiorum always reminds me of my fallen homeland buried deep in the depths. Call me High Sealands, nameless swordmaster.
Please allow me to add one more thing. You actually already know my name.
You mean Finan? Such a name could never be your true one, but I won't question you further about it. Ever since Her Majesty issued the Flame Chase Decree, heroes from all over have sent their letters of introduction. What's the harm in adding one more name like Finan or Pinan? Besides, the deep sea is dark. Isn't it the perfect place to hide secrets best left unseen? All right, nameless swordmaster. Hold on to my wake. Let's find somewhere else to talk.
Aren't you even a little suspicious of what I've said?
Harboring suspicions is not my concern. My sword dances only when the Imperator harbors doubts. There's no use in speaking further. Show me your true intentions through action. Perhaps you should demonstrate your skills and calm the raging black tide for us.
Light up the dawn.
Also, her design's really cool that she, like, her whole stomach is just liquid.
Light up the dawn.
Interesting, so he just has his powers now.
Oh. Nice moves.
Light up the dawn.
You just washed it away and here it comes again. The black tide is really no joke.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
The waters end here. The one you seek is beyond this point.
At last. I can meet with Her Majesty Surindra herself. Are there any formalities I need to observe?
Don't kneel, don't do the hand-kissing or foot-kissing gestures of the old dynasty, and most of all, don't bow. The Imperator despises such rituals, especially when the heads of those taller than her bend beneath her crown.
She really is down to earth.
The second thing to note, only trusted ones may come near her. Keep 5 paces distance until the Imperator allows otherwise.
Sounds like an old friend of mine.
Well, experience is a good thing. Stay sharp, and you'll be just fine. Duck's Goldweaver, little hostage. Apologies for keeping you waiting.
It's you.
You know them? Good. That makes things easier.
Before that, I'm more curious about one thing. Where is Her Majesty Saritra?
To avoid any misunderstandings, nameless Swordmaster. Although we spoke and laughed along the way, I never said you were entitled to meet her. The Imperator decreed. The Deliverer will not appear in this age. Be wary of suspicious individuals. Come now, both of you. Let's finish our job.
I see. It's a trap. I had no intention of fighting. So remember this, Lady Hysealens. If my sword shows any hesitation, don't thank me. Thank them instead.
No, you misunderstand. We don't want to see Chrysoceres hurt each other. Just give us some time to ask you a few questions.
The Nestia's golden threads will judge you and decide your fate.
As you wish.
White-haired Swordmaster? If what you say is true, then you must know the fate of the world. So, how much do you know about what we read from the prophecy?
You shall shatter into 1,000 fragments and wither in the soil of foreign lands. Is that correct, Lady Treby?
How?
How is this possible?
He got it right?
Yes, but the prophecy never mentioned he'd appear here. At least, not in this era.
You must listen to me, Aglaya, Treby. The Finan of this world has not yet been born. In a distant future, he will follow the prophecy's guidance and appear before you, but do not seek him out. Because Era Nova is a complete and utter lie. I will tell you the truth. And you will understand why the world must forsake the prophecy and find another path to Era Nova. Because I know both of you. And I believe that no matter how the course of history may change, the faith we all share will always remain the same. And so, the layers of rock began to reverse, and history wove itself anew. Through my old acquaintances, I was given the chance to meet the leader of the Flame Chase journey, Saritra. And after a long and arduous negotiation, we came to an agreement. The Imperator's alliance needed the destruction, and I was ready to pour all my strength into it. The spoils of the Flame Chase, the core flames, would be sealed by my hand. But the condition was this. In the upcoming battle, in our conquest of the Earth, I had to prove that my power could transcend fate. In the original history, there was a brutal war. At the end, the Titankin of Georios, Terravox, killed the rampaging Titan and took the core flame that supported the Earth. But this time, Amphorius encountered a turning point in its fate. Neither side suffered any losses. When I severed the Titan's head and raised the core flame high, the crowd gathered around the scorched remains of the god, roaring with joy, cheering for the hero of the destruction, who had ignited the faint spark of life for the first time. Yes, in that flickering light, the once dark path ahead seemed to become clearer. I proved myself. And in the long years that followed, I brought down the other Titans. One by one. I could do more than just wait. When time resets, the chance to change the world also emerges from the lines of history. Until finally, the brutal future revealed by Era Nova is reversed. But tell me, if that's truly the case, why are we doomed to the same outcome?
The first eternal reoccurrence, end.
The people kept their promise and handed you all the core flames. In this world after Trebios, no demigods were born in Amphorius. At this point, I just want to know. When they vanished into the black tide with their mortal bodies, why didn't you shed even a single tear? Your indifference chills me. To you, were they just a bunch of insignificant footnotes? Sorrow has been my constant companion. In fact, with 12 core flames upon me, the fire in my heart has never been more violent. I'll remember this world through anger. As long as I burn, they'll never truly leave me. Perhaps it's already too late. But you're right. Anger, at this moment, is the only weapon I can rely on. So, draw your sword, Executioner. I'll make sure you realize that your greatest mistake was leaving me alive. After that, he raised his sword and attacked. Then, Kaslana killed himself that day. Who fell to the sword to be left in the past, and who went into the future. I can't remember anymore. I only remember a nymph, hiding in the shadows just out of sight, futilely pushing a stone ball. Climb, fall, climb, fall, climb again, and fall. The only freedom the nymph had was in choosing how to roll the stone. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Sometimes resting on a gentler slope, leaning against the stone for a break. But its choice couldn't change the futility of it all. The stone would always roll back down the slope, and the nymph would always return to the starting point. Beginning again. After that, every time I reached this point in the cycle, the burning sky would cast a shadow over its path. It would nearly reach the peak at the 4th quint of curtain fall hour, then fall to the starting point in the first 15 seconds of the next entry hour. And my efforts in this cycle would dissolve into nothing at the same time.
Eternal reoccurrence number 1. Subject Kaslana persuaded the 12 Chrysoseirs to recover all 12 core flames in a peaceful way. After verification, the unauthorized access did not have a substantive impact on the experimental process. Life cycles of the 12 Chrysoseirs were terminated strictly in the predetermined experimental sequence and successfully loaded into the buffer. Subject Kaslana regressed the extrapolation process and abnormal functions were detected in his mind function. Admin notes, the first devastating failure. Oh, okay, we got more to read. All right. Notes unknown taker. The eternal reoccurrence number 2. Subject Kaslana adopted a strategy similar to the eternal reoccurrence number 1. No substantive impact on the experimental process was observed. Life cycles of the 12 Chrysoseirs terminated normally in sequence. Subject Kaslana regressed the extrapolation process. Eternal reoccurrence number 3. Minor adjustments detected in Subject Kaslana's strategy. Decisions weighted for avoid sacrifice of past companions has been increased. After verification, this adjustment did not have a substantive impact on the experimental process. Life cycles of the 12 Chrysoseirs Chrysosaurs terminated normally in sequence. Subject Caslana regressed with the extrapolation process. Eternal reoccurrence number 15. Subject Caslana attempted to decompile the Black Tide for the first time, aiming to elevate access privileges and execute unauthorized access authorization operations against specific subjects represented by the 12 Chrysosaurs. Life cycles of the 12 Chrysosaurs terminated normally in sequence. Subject Caslana regressed the extrapolation process. Eternal reoccurrence number 42. Subject Caslana's 11th attempt to breach the Scepter's core layer has failed. The decision weighted for avoid sacrifices of past companions showed minor decline. Life cycles of the 12 Chrysosaurs terminated in sequence. Subject Caslana regressed the extrapolation process. Eternal reoccurrence 133. Analysis of observations from eternal reoccurrence 83 to 133 indicates that the Subject Caslana strategy is gradually converging with that of eternal resurrection number 42. Over synchronicity risk detected. Potential cognitive function degradation suspected. Admin notes, this will undoubtedly reinforce the Iron Tomb's destruction vector. Within expectations, no intervention required. Continue observation. Eternal reoccurrence 134. The 134th eternal reoccurrence.
Absolute nonsense.
I thought cycles was the answer you were looking for.
No. It's just that the answer came so suddenly. There was no fun in tracing it back to its roots. Eons? Paths? What a load of nonsense.
I can't give you an exact explanation of those two concepts either.
Enough. I'm just expressing my frustration. Don't you understand? I was already expecting this. The Black Tide came from beyond the sky. And everything else is no exception.
Fate is a strange thing. No matter how the details of history change, the Anaxa I know always remains as harsh as ever.
If the other Anaxagoras actually worshipped the gods, I'd make sure to find a way to break the cycles and crush them in their cradles. Too bad. Now only you have the ability to do that.
What's that supposed to mean? You're willing to help?
Of course. The core flames were meant to save the world. And in my opinion, the noble Titans have no reason to refuse. Besides, according to you, before stepping into these endless cycles, you were my pupil.
I've already heard the same thing. Countless times.
Enough chit-chat. Let's go. If we run into any other scholars, leave them to me. We've all made preparations for total annihilation. Never thought someone would step in to help.
Alright, so we have 10 minutes until we're hit the 2-hour mark. And so I do think we're gonna pause it here because I know if we do this cycle, it's probably going to potentially load us into endless cutscene number 3. So just so you know where we are timeline-wise on if we're doing pretty good storyline, Hero Ignite the Primal Sun is the 3rd out of 4 chapters for this patch that was updated in. So we are doing quite well. Let me just... Yeah, and we're only in part 2 out of 5 parts in chapter 3. So definitely don't want to just keep going indefinitely when we are on a time limit. So this is exciting. It's interesting because I saw a lot of people being like, oh, Phynon doesn't remember the past lives. And so Caslana very obviously does. So I'm gonna guess that since he called Caslana Executioner, that Phynon, and then the Flame Reaver was also called Executioner. So Caslana degrading over time has probably become the Flame Reaver, also shown by the fact that he holds Cyrene's scythe. and then he has that. So I imagine that because they also said like cognitive decline and like issues like that. So Kazlana over the many cycles has declined, and that might even show why the Flame Reaver is both smart but also seems to react on instincts, is the fact that the Flame Reaver is just almost could be just running on impulse to a degree at this point. Kazlana is of just like they know like what they're supposed to do is just to continue the cycles because until they get the perfect outcome, because Kazlana and Phynon exist in the same space, and so every time Phynon is able to kill Kazlana, it merges them into one, it seems, and then the Phynon of this cycle seems to become the Kazlana of the next one with all the prior memories of the prior Kazlanas, which is very interesting. But we're going to pause and save it there, and we will come back to
Misery
that
and bliss, the same no matter where you go.
at a separate time, which will be next Sunday, of course. Let's see. Yeah, because these are the last two ones. So I'm very curious how this will end because of the fact that so a lot of people talk about how I just got very sidetracked at everyone. I apologize. How Sunday kind of has like the very similar imagery to Phynon. It's also this bit right here because you see him holding Cyrene's star icon. Looks very similar to that. That's interesting. But anyway, so thank you all so much for coming. I hope that we can get through chapter 3 and maybe start chapter 4 next Sunday. At least the hope is to get through chapter 3. Because if we can get through chapter 3 next time and then chapter 4 after, we should be done before the next patch update, and the next patch update is going to be a big one that should get us the next bit of story, so I am excited for that. Also, these little guys also look at like the one that's on Phynon's back. I'm really curious if there is some kind of relation between Sunday and Phynon. They're very similar image-wise, because see, this thing that's on Phynon's back, it's the same thing that in that little animation we just saw of the little guys circling Sunday. Very similar. Ugh, guys, you don't know how excited I am that I got Phynon. Anyway, also this is like a really good team, the one I have currently. So I hope that you all, if any of you are pulling for Firefly, Jinglu, or Blade, I hope you have a good luck. And then I will see you all next week. So bye everyone. Get some good sleep, by the way.